There is a certain kind of person who evolves quietly while everyone else stays stuck, repeating the same arguments, chasing the same approval, explaining themselves to people who were never going to understand. Here's what separates them. They stopped performing, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to do the same starting tonight, in a moment no one else will ever see. Because real transformation doesn't happen when you're explaining yourself. It happens in silence. And today, I'm going to show you the 5 quiet laws that separate people who become something from people who only talk about becoming something. Why silence is strategy, not weakness. Stoicism doesn't ask you to perform. It asks you to build something the world can't shake. Inward strength. The people who reach real success, not the performed kind. The internal kind, know something most people miss. Wisdom doesn't need an audience. While others are busy winning arguments and crafting the perfect image, these people are quietly, relentlessly building. The paradox. The less they say, the more powerful they become. You can feel it when you're near them, a presence that speaks without words. Plato put it simply. Wise men speak because they have something to say. Fools, because they have to say something. But here's the question that matters. What actually makes silence powerful? Is it just staying out of drama? Not even close. And once you understand what real silence is, you'll never look at a loud life the same way again. Law 1. Silence is where you stop hiding. Real silence isn't the absence of speech, it's the presence of depth. It's active, intentional. It's where your thoughts settle and your energy reorganizes. When you step away from constant stimulation, your brain doesn't shut down, it switches gears. Carl Jung said it best, who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. In silence, you wake up to your own patterns. You hear the stories you've been repeating in your mind. And that's exactly why most people avoid it, because silence is honest. It doesn't let you hide. Your doubt shows up, your guilt shows up, your insecurity shows up. And instead of facing it, most people grab their phone, open a new tab, start an argument, anything to avoid being alone with themselves. But avoidance isn't neutral. What you avoid doesn't disappear, it buries itself deeper, quietly draining you, fragmenting your focus, whispering confusion into your decisions. That's the real reason you feel exhausted even when you haven't done much. That's the tax of unresolved tension. So why do we keep choosing the noise? Because we've been trained to equate being seen with being valuable. Aristotle warned us about this long before social media existed. The ultimate value of life depends on awareness and contemplation, not mere survival. Constantly seeking attention is a survival mode. It keeps your mind on edge, always reacting, never reflecting. So what happens the moment you stop reacting? That's law 2, and it's the one almost nobody talks about. Law 2. Noise has a neurological price. Your brain isn't built to process thousands of opinions a day. It's not designed for constant multitasking, reacting, comparing. It's designed to focus, to assess, to adapt. When it's overwhelmed by noise, gossip, endless scrolling, it starts to misfire. You stop thinking clearly. You stop feeling grounded. You lose the edge that once made you decisive. And the real cost isn't tiredness. It's your intuition. That slow erosion of inner clarity is far more dangerous than any single failure, because without clarity, you don't trust yourself. You hesitate. You second guess. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of you that plans, focuses, and commits, is wired for deliberate thought. It thrives on clarity, not chaos. When it's given silence, it resets, it recalibrates, and out of that silence, something most people never tap into begins to emerge. Control, not control over others, self-mastery. Aristotle said it plainly. What lies in our power to do also lies in our power not to do. True control is choosing not to react, not to prove, not to perform. But here's the uncomfortable part: the moment you start choosing silence over reaction, the people around you notice, and not everyone will be happy about it. Law 3. Why announcing your goals sabotages them. Here's a truth that separates people who finish from people who quit. Talking about your goal releases the same dopamine as achieving it. When you announce "I'm getting in shape" or "I'm writing a book," it feels good. It gives you the illusion of progress. But neuroscience tells a different story. Your brain rewards the declaration as if you already did the work. You get a premature payoff without the growth. Plato said the beginning is the most important part of the work. And if you burn your energy on announcements, you never make it past the beginning. This is the enemy of discipline. When you confuse talking with doing, you trick your nervous system into a false sense of accomplishment. You build an identity based on perception instead of performance. And when the applause fades, you're left with no system, no discipline, no momentum. The alternative: say less, do more. Let the silence be the forge where your new identity takes shape, not because you told the world who you're becoming, but because you quietly became it. You wake up at the same time each morning. You show up to the workout no one's tracking. You open the book. You resist the scroll. And in doing so, you literally rewire your brain new circuits of discipline, focus, and drive. But here's where it gets hard. The moment your actions start to shift and your environment doesn't, that's when the friction begins. Law 4. Growth will cost you comfort. Real growth doesn't just separate you from old habits, it separates you from old versions of yourself and from people still attached to those versions. Friends, family, co-workers, they'll start to question you. Not always out of malice, out of discomfort. Your evolution disrupts their comfort zone. It challenges the fixed image they've held of you. Carl Jung observed that the most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. By stepping into a new self, you force others to reconsider who you are, and maybe who they are too. Can you remain silent in the face of confusion, criticism, or mockery? Can you walk your path without needing applause for every step? Because if you can, something rare happens. You stop needing permission. You stop waiting to be understood. You become internally untouchable, not because you never feel doubt, but because you've trained yourself to keep moving in the silence despite it. Marcus Aurelius put it bluntly: waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. No need to advertise who you're becoming. No need to justify your standards. Just be it, quietly, consistently. Lions don't announce their presence before they strike. Surgeons don't narrate the operation. Their silence isn't absence, it's presence, complete, focused, immersive. So what does that presence actually build over time? That's Law 5, and it's the one that changes everything. Law 5. Silence builds the self nothing can take from you. Attention is energy, real, biological energy, fueled by neurotransmitters like norepinephrine and acetylcholine. And it is not limitless. Every time you check your phone for no reason, every time you argue just to prove a point, you're spending that energy. Distraction robs you of the mental clarity you could have invested in something real. But what if, in the moment of temptation, you pause not out of avoidance, but as an act of power? That pause is everything. It hands the deeper layers of your mind, the ones responsible for long-term thinking, creativity, and identity, the room to lead. Silence looks still from the outside. Internally, it's a battleground. Sitting in it is an act of courage, because it forces you to face what most people spend their lives avoiding: themselves. Jung wrote it plainly: until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. In silence, the buried things rise, and you get a choice: numb them again or engage with them. That engagement is where real growth and real emotional fortitude begins. Each time you resist the urge to reply impulsively, to defend your ego, to chase a quick hit of approval, you are rewiring your brain to choose purpose over performance. Aristotle wrote that excellence is not an act, but a habit. You don't become excellent by having excellent thoughts. You become excellent by building habits that support who you want to be, one action at a time. That's why the Stoics trained the body as hard as the mind. Discipline in the body becomes discipline everywhere else. The beginning will be hard. Silence will feel unnatural. You'll want to prove to someone that you're working. Resist it, because eventually, your quiet consistency becomes impossible to ignore, but by then, the recognition won't even matter. You'll already be living from a place of internal reward. The peace you feel, the strength you carry, the clarity you protect, that will be your reward. And no one can take it from you, because it wasn't given to you. It was earned in silence. Real transformation isn't loud. It isn't dramatic. It's steady, rooted, deliberate, built from the inside out. It's in the quiet moments no one's watching that you shape the version of yourself the world eventually can't ignore. You don't need to announce every step. Just keep taking them. The results will speak when the time is right. Which law hit hardest? If this reshaped how you think about silence, discipline, and self-mastery, subscribe to Working Truth for more videos on Stoic philosophy, and you won't want to miss the next one. Drop a comment. Which of the 5 laws do you need to apply starting tonight? I read everyone, and the conversation in the comments is honestly where this channel comes alive. Stay steady, stay focused, and when you're ready, come back. We'll be right here.